Hey goats, that's your favorite Kevin here. This episode is called The Meritocracy Myth. I'm gonna start this one with a question. Have you ever looked at someone who's successful and thought they earned it? Or looked at someone who's struggling and thought they should have worked harder? I think most of us have. I know I have. Because that's the story we're raised with. Work hard, keep your head down, do the right thing, and everything will work out. I actually believe in hard work. I grew up relatively poor. I joined the Marine Corps. I earned an engineering degree. I built a business. And today I work in healthcare. I'm proud of every bit of it. But the older I get, the harder it is to ignore something. The people I admire most aren't the ones who pretend they made it alone. They're the ones who remember who helped them get there. With this short episode, I want to challenge one of the biggest stories America tells itself. Not because hard work doesn't matter. It absolutely does. But because hard work isn't the whole story. Hard work matters, but it doesn't explain everything. One of my biggest frustrations is that we've turned this into an all or nothing argument. Either success is entirely hard work or it's entirely luck. Neither is true. I've met incredibly hardworking people who've never caught a break. I've also met incredibly lazy people who inherited opportunities most of us will never see. Hard work matters, opportunity matters, timing matters, health matters, family matters, where you were born matters. All of it matters. Ignoring any one of these pieces gives you a distorted picture of reality. How much of who you are today came from your choices, and how much came from circumstances you never chose? Nobody makes it alone. People love the phrase self-made, especially Americans. I honestly don't think that person exists. I think about my own life. Taxpayers helped pay for public schools that I attended. The Marine Corps trained me that the public paid for. The GI Bill helped me earn a degree. And while I paid the kickers, the public paid it. Professors taught me. Customers kept my business alive. Coworkers carried me when I needed help. Friends opened doors and picked me up when I fell. Even the roads I drove to work on were built by someone else. None of that takes away from my work, but it explains how work becomes success. I'll ask you all, who are the people you almost never thank for helping you become who you are? The biggest advantage is often invisible. People, they notice money. They don't notice stability. Growing up with parents who read to you, having a safe neighborhood, having enough food, knowing someone who can get you an interview, never worrying about medical bills. Those things don't guarantee success, but they change the odds. And people born with those advantages often mistake them for proof that they simply worked harder. What do you all think is one advantage people often mistake for personal achievement? Poverty is not a character flaw. One thing that really bothers me is how quickly we judge people who are struggling. If someone's poor, people ask what they did wrong. If someone's homeless, people ask what bad decisions they made. Sometimes those questions they're fair. Sometimes they're not. Life is messy. People lose jobs. People get sick. People they leave abusive relationships. People develop addictions. People have disabilities. People get crushed by circumstances. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Most Americans are one bad month away from their entire life changing. We made an entire episode about this. That is not weakness, that is reality. When did we start believing that needing help was the same thing as failing? Success, it should create responsibility. Here's where I probably lose a lot of people. I think if you've been fortunate enough to succeed, you owe something back. Not because the government says so, Because civilization gave you the chance to succeed in the first place. That's how I see taxes. That's how I see public education. That's how I see healthcare. That's how I see taking care of veterans. That's how I see feeding hungry kids. The question isn't how much can I keep? The question is, what kind of country do I want to help build? If success doesn't create responsibility, then what's the purpose of success in the first place? The American dream, it was never meant to be a solo story. I still believe in the American dream. I just think at this point we've misunderstood it. The dream was never supposed to be, I made it. It was supposed to be, we made it possible. A country where hard work has a chance to pay off, where a kid born has opportunities, where getting sick doesn't bankrupt your family, where education opens doors, where veterans come home to something worth defending. That's a dream worth fighting for. Not because everyone gets the same outcome, but because everyone deserves a fair shot. If you could change one thing that would give the next generation a more equal starting line, what would that be? I'll wrap up with this. I don't believe success should make us arrogant. I think it should make us grateful. Grateful for the teachers who stayed late, the coworkers who covered for us, the taxpayers who invested in public schools, the Marines who stood beside us, the nurses who patched us up, the people who believed in us before we even believed in ourselves. I am proud of what we've built. I'm proud of what I've built. I'll never apologize for working hard, but I'll also never pretend I built it alone because I didn't. None of us do. The American dream shouldn't be proving you didn't need anybody. It should be making sure the next kid has the same chance you did, or even an even better one. If we can build a country where hard work still matters, but nobody is left behind because of circumstances they never chose, then I think we'll finally be living up to the promise we've been telling ourselves all along. Take care of each other. Simplify. Thanks for listening.